So we are really used to unusual designs coming out of the fertile mind of George Kellgren. Of course, George is the founder of KelTec and its chief inventor. And before that, he was with Intratec and Grendel. So if you've ever heard of a pistol called the Grendel P10, you'll know where George Kellgren was going in 1988. The gun in front of me is really the realization of a concept that he came out with well before its time. And that is a clip loading pistol that has all the rounds you're probably going to need on board. This is the PR57, made in Rock Springs, Wyoming, the new KelTec plant, and it's chambered for 5.7 by 28. So there's a role for that cartridge when it comes to personal protection. This is what we call a blind magazine. There's no magazine release here. There's no detachable box. With this gun, you load it with 20 rounds, and that's what you have. So if you think about it in terms of a New York reload, you have 20 rounds here, which is typically more than I carry in my personal protection gun, and I'd have to change magazines. But this gun, they're all in there. So this is a decision that George Kellgren made in terms of how people can defend themselves. This gun is very affordable. It comes with 20 rounds. Now, the thing about this is you can either load them individually through the top, or you can use a very clever stripper clip. This gun really harnesses George Kellgren's ideas on personal protection. He wants to make personal protection affordable for all law-abiding Americans. And they did some things differently. When you look at the shape of the slide itself, you'll notice that it's cylindrical, and it has these grooves in it that actually make it very easy to rack, very easy to get a hold of. The gun can be fitted with a miniature red dot sight. You simply turn these screws out, take it off, and it fits a shield pattern. This gun has a 4-inch barrel. It's just over 7 inches long, and it's only 0.93 wide. By eliminating your magazine release and some other features, they were able to get this gun to a very thin width, which really helps with the concealment. So some more innovation going on here. When you look at the front of the barrel, you'll see that the lugs are here because this is a rotary locking gun, so everything's in line. And when you shoot this thing, of course, the 5.7 by 28 doesn't have a lot of recoil anyway, but that muzzle really doesn't rise. But your lugs are here at the front, and they lock up into corresponding recesses here in the front of the slide. And you'll also see that there are dual recoil spring guides there. So disassembly of this gun is a little unusual. So in order to disassemble it, you actually push the trigger forward, and that releases the slide to come off. And when that slide comes off, you can see what's going on here. There are dual captive recoil springs, and you've got a separate cam track in this locking block that corresponds with a stud on the bottom of the barrel. And you can see there are your front locking surfaces, and then this locking block here guides the barrel movement. The thing about this PR57 is it changes the dynamic of what we think of in terms of a personal protection handgun. Maybe you don't need a box magazine. Maybe you want it chambered in 5.7. So it challenges a lot of norms. And frankly, anything from KelTec, it's going to be innovative and outside the box.
For more on firearms and shooting gear, go to AmericanRifleman.org.